Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are all doing well on this crazy period of Christmas. I know this can be a very divisive time. Some people find it just stressful, and for others, it's the best time of the year. So it's it's a lot. I hope you are well. Here we've been trying to prepare as best we can for Advent. I don't know if we've been very successful, but we're trying our best. One thing that is very interesting in this time is sales. And yesterday I was in my local brick and mortar shop, and that's where I saw this pipe that I just bought. So it's the bowl is medium brown, and the stem, on the other hand, is more like reddish. I don't know if you can see correctly. It was half price, so I always like to go there at this time because they always have nice bargains. And I tried it this morning and it was very satisfying. So unfortunately I cannot light it inside to show you, but it was very nice. It's from an Italian brand that I don't know, but it was good. I'm happy about it. But what brought me here today is Perelandra. So funnily enough, I realized that I started the year with Out of the Silent Planet, and I finished it in a new pipe, and I finished it with Perelandra and a new pipe, and it's a serendipity because I hadn't planned this at all, just how it turned out. So life can be funny at times, and there was this passage about in Perelandra that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to read to you. And so let me know what you think about it. So this protagonist, Ransom, if you remember, in the first book he was in Mars. So, and in the second book, Perelandra, he's in Venus. So of course you see the link Mars and Venus. That's going to be important for the book. But it's not what I want to talk about this time. It's more about mythology and kind of symbolism. I think we always hear how the Inklings particularly, they think that mythology can provide deep truth, that are not necessarily accessible to just other ways, that stories provide something that other mediums don't. And I mean, of course, you understand that, sure, some myth can talk about heroism, good and evil, justice, so on, but I fail to see really how myth carried more truth than just what you and I would naturally assume. And I think this helps. And it's also quite poetic, I think. So Ransom is talking about, he's asking about myth in a way. He's talking to angel-like figures. I'm not going to talk too much about it to avoid spoilers, but so I'm trying to be as vague as I can. And so he's talking about that and the personification of Mars and Aries and Aphrodite, Mars and Venus and so on. And he wants to know how it's possible for them to have knowledge of Aphrodite and Aries, because the world, the Earth, our world, has been cut off from, let's say, deep heaven or God in general, because it's a fallen world. Okay, and so that's not the case of Venus in this book, or it wasn't the case for Mars either, because those worlds aren't fallen, at least not in the same way. And so we have been cut off from this, and that's why the protagonist Ransom asks, how can we know anything about deep heaven, that's what he calls space, if we've been cut off? And so the angel-like figures answer. So let me back up to the question. He says, Earth has been besieged, an enemy-occupied territory since before history began. The gods have had no comers there. How then do we know of them? It comes, they told him, a long way round and through many stages. There is an environment of minds as well as of space. The universe is one, a spider's web wherein each mind lives along every line, a vast whispering gallery where, save for the direct action of Maelil, that is Jesus, though no news travels unchanged, yet no secret can be rigorously kept. In the mind of the fallen Archon, under whom our planet groans, the memory of deep heaven and the gods with whom he once consorted is still alive. Nay, in the very matter of our world, the traces of the celestial commonwealth are not quite lost. Memory passes through the womb and hovers in the air. The muse is a real thing. A faint breath, as Virgil says, reaches even the late generations. Our mythology is based on a solider reality than we dream. But it is also at an almost infinite distance from that base. And when they told him this, Ransom at last understood why mythology was what it was. Gleams of celestial strength and beauty falling on a jungle of filth and imbecility. That's us. His cheeks burned on behalf of our race when he looked on the true Mars and Venus and remembered the follies that have been taught of them on Earth. So I thought that was a very beautiful way of putting it. This idea that deep heaven, so space, the whole world, is connected like a spider's web. And so we are cut off, but in a way we also are part of this spider web, of course. And so we can catch glimpses of truth, of this myth. And those myths, almost like the music of the spheres, can be perceived in a certain way by everyone here, even if we tend to pervert, distort through our imbecility and our fallen nature, this deep truth, this myth, but still we can use them for the truth that they can still pass on. And I don't know, it's not necessarily easy to understand. I'm not sure I've wrapped my mind around it completely yet, but there's something very, very beautiful and powerful about this. And I would like to know what you think. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we'll see each other before the end of the year for the reading wrap-up of 2025. See you. Bye.